Summertime. This summer, we will be focusing on the joy of music and the Beatitudes, and some fun bonus episodes too. Stay tuned for joyful conversations this summer on the Pour Out Your Joy podcast. Join the conversation on our Facebook page. Remember to like our page so you get all the latest updates. Hey, we're coming to you live on the Pontoon. It is podcast on the Pontoon today with Bethany and Carol. Woohoo! We have a beautiful day, Bethany.
I hope everyone can hear the jet flying over us right now.
This is for real. We are not making this up.
We aren't. We're actually on the water. Rob is our captain.
Yes, say hello, Rob.
Hey. And it's a little windy today, so you'll have to bear with the technology and the wind and everything. It's still going to be fun. We hope you hang in there.
Oh my gosh. It is a beautiful day. It is actually right around 72, 73 maybe.
Should we paint a picture?
Oh my. What?
Should we paint a picture for them?
Yes. 73 degrees. It is a little humid, beautiful breeze blowing, little strong.
The sky is blue with some puffy white clouds, some of those streaky clouds.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. It is gorgeous.
And then there's birds flying over us. There's been some fishermen.
Just kidding.
There's some fishermen out.
Yes, it is beautiful out here, you guys. So
really nice. We wish you were here. We wish you all were here.
It's summertime. So we thought we got to do something. And so we are actually, I want to point out, we're in person. We're together for the first time in, I think any episode, right?
A lot of people wonder. I think we are an hour and a half from each other when we record.
Yes.
So this is our maiden voyage, not only on this Pontoon, but in person.
Yes. And how exciting is that?
It's great. And it took some, logistical, we had to do some tests. It was a little rough for a minute and we figured it out.
Yeah, definitely. And I've been looking forward to this for a while now. So I'm glad we got to do this. I hope we can do this again too.
Yeah, I agree. We could do this in the winter now. We know what we're doing.
Well, we won't be on a pontoon, that's for sure. No, I don't know. We might be ice fishing or something. Who knows?
I don't ice fish. I would regular fish, but
no
ice fishing is too cold.
It is cold.
Maybe we would be in like a nice cozy cabin with a fire.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Having some hot cocoa and a good chat.
Yeah, I like that too.
We're soaking up the sun.
You know what? And here's the thing. We're in summertime and the 4th of July is just around the corner. So this is kind of our fun episode, you guys, and we're going to talk about a few fun things, like something that we typically don't talk about on our podcast, like 3 questions we came up with to get to know us better.
I like it.
And we are going to have fun with this. So Bethany, I'm going to put you on the spot. So share a funny story or something funny our audience doesn't know about you.
I have a very good story. I'm going to have to take the microphone here. So, we're rocking the boat.
We're rocking the boat. Holy buckets. The waves are taking us a little bit.
So bear with us in the moment of what we're experiencing. But back in the day, before Starbucks was a big deal, before, we have Caribou Coffee up here in the north. I don't think that's in the south. There's Dunn Brothers. There's, Dunkin' Donuts. There's a lot. There's Hortons. There's a lot of coffee shops right now. And so when you look at all of the coffee shop options that are out there now, back in the day, there was coffee shops that were not chains. And I grew up in that era where the coffee shop was brand new and it was like the cool place to go. So I would hang out with my friends. My friends both worked at this coffee shop. And I have to set the stage for because the stage of this story starts with the building that it's in, that the coffee shop was in.
Okay.
So the coffee shop was in a strip mall. So we're talking like all the front doors to the to the businesses are all in the front. And then the parking was facing those doors. And it would go back and forth.
Time out. We got a fisherman with the fish on.
My
just
word.
letting you know. Looks like a walleye.
Oh, he threw it back. It wasn't big enough.
No, it wasn't big enough.
No,
nice
it was.
Catch.
Good job.
Give him the thumbs up. Yep. Okay. Okay, so it was in the back, did you say, this coffee shop?
It was in the strip mall.
In a strip mall, okay.
So there was lots of little businesses along the way. It sort of was like in the middle of this strip mall, and there was probably 6 or 7 businesses. So, but the big thing is all the cars face the doors. That's the big thing I need to. So kind of set the stage. Okay, so my best friend Mara worked at this coffee shop, and it was Good Friday. And we were going to go to the Good Friday service together, and she was working till like 4:30, something like that. And she said, hey, I'll go to church with you tonight. Why don't you come pick me up? And I said, perfect. So my sister and I were driving to it was called Northern Cup Coffee Shop. I parked straight on towards the building, and I was a little bit off the door, so it wasn't straight on the door. But I was, it was enough where I was like, hey, just wait. I'm going to go see if she's ready.
Yeah.
So we get in there, and we're chatting. She's like, I'm almost done with my shift. I'm like, perfect. And she's like, do you even know what time it starts? I'm like, I think like 5:30 or 6. Like, we don't have to be there for an hour. And the coffee shop to church was like a 5-minute drive. So she's like, why don't you just tell your sister to come in, and we'll hang out here for an hour, and then we'll go to church.
Yeah.
So me being kind of silly and fun, I go to the door, and I just push the door. And mind you, there's people in and out of this coffee shop the whole entire time. So there's customers going in and out. So this gentleman has a bunch of coffee, and he leaves probably 2 or 3 minutes before me. So I run to the door, and I just kind of crack it open and stick my right hand out, and I look at my sister, and I do that come hither with your finger, your pointer finger, like, come here.
Yeah.
And then she looks at me, because I can see her from the door, and she's in the car, and she's going, do you want me? And I'm like, uh-huh. And I get real cheeky after that.
Okay.
And I'm like, and so just paint the picture however you want.
Yep.
I'm pointing, and all of a sudden, from out of the corner of my eye, I see this older gentleman coming towards me.
No! Oh my gosh!
And he's thinking, mind you, remember, my sister's like, me? And the guy is probably saying the same thing. Me? And I get super cheeky.
Oh my word.
And wink and all that to my sister, not realizing the guy saw me. So when I see him, he comes into my vision. I'm like, no!
Oh my word. Oh, what did you do?
I slammed the door. And I went inside, very mortified. But it's like the best story, because it's like, I couldn't have staged that. I mean, It had to be perfect timing. And his wife was probably in the front seat going, no wonder you like that coffee shop. There's all those young girls.
Oh my word.
So do you know what I always think? Carol, I always think, how is that story told in their house?
Right.
Like, this is how our story is in our family. But what does his story sound like?
Oh, that is a good one.
So now we want to hear your funny story.
Okay, so I got to thinking about this, and I don't know if there's many people out there who have the same experience as I do, but it's kind of funny where I have been prone to getting locked into rooms unintentionally.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
So a few of them I'll share. The first one was back when I was about 20, and we were at this awesome blues festival in Duluth. And we were staying at a hotel, and we were all going to meet out in the parking lot when we were ready. And everybody left but me, and I was in the bathroom. And guess what? The doorknob broke. I'm in the bathroom, and the doorknob broke. And I can't get out. I'm like, oh my gosh. And when you're 20, you're like, this is the end of the world. I don't know what I'm going to do. Everybody's going to go. They're going to be at the concert. It's going to be, like the end of the world, right? Well, luckily somebody came back, and we figured it out, and they actually got help. They got somebody to come in and get me out of there.
Oh, good.
Really strong wind. Can we turn it a little, Captain?
Okay.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Yeah. The second story is the first house that I moved into. We had this extra storage building, and this building was kind of, think of a root cellar, something like that.
Yeah.
But it was bigger, like you could walk down into it, and we had other things in there. I had my golf clubs, I had my sewing machine, and it was
Like
that kind of thing.
Storage. Yeah. Okay.
It was separate from the house. We had a friend stop by and we were all talking outside, and then I went down there. We had to go do something down there, and the door shut and it locked on me. And they're walking around. We had some land to roam around on, and I'm like, hey, I'm like yelling and nobody could hear me. I'm stuck down there. I'm like, I can't get out, and it's hot. It was summertime. It was cooler in there, but I'm like, I don't want to be in here, Yeah. So I had my golf clubs, and I ended up taking one of the clubs and tapping them on these egress windows. There were just little windows, a couple windows down there. And I was tapping so that somebody finally heard me, because it echoed. SOS. It echoed. Yeah, I didn't know SOS, but how it worked. But that was my Carol's SOS. And so I did get out of there eventually. It was probably a half an hour. And it was like, what is it with me and getting locked into places? And my last one is my current house. I was dating my now husband, and it was about 9 o'clock, and I was supposed to call him about 9:30 or something. And I ended up in the bathroom, and we had a problem with our doorknob. Yeah, I'm in another bathroom. With a doorknob issue. Wow. And I knew for about a week there was a problem. And my son, he was in there, and apparently he was trying to fix it. And I didn't know that he was trying to fix it at one point earlier than when I was in there. And so I get in there that evening, and I'm like, oh, that dang doorknob, it's still broken, and it even feels kind of weirder now. Yeah. And I shut the door. Totally, it's like solid. You can't turn it, nothing. Okay. Again, really, Lord, what is going on? And it's 9 o'clock. And I said, okay, what's the worst case scenario? Because I couldn't get it open. I had water in there. I had nice, soft, fluffy rugs. I'm like, okay, I have a bathroom if I have to, do something. And I'm like, I'm fine. If I have to be here all night, that's fine. And then, the control in me wanted to fix it, the issue. I'm in there for a while. I'm like, this is dumb. I don't have my phone. I can't call anyone. Yeah. And I'm going to try. I get out this nail file. Think of MacGyver. Yeah. Back in the day, MacGyver was a big show. He'd make things out of nothing, and create a bomb or get out of a situation by putting all these things together. So I get this nail file and I'm digging at the doorknob. Still nothing. I wouldn't give up. I got that thing to move. And look at you, I finally got out. It was like a half an hour later.
You know what I think you need?
But yeah.
I think you need some training on how to get out of places.
Right?
Like, maybe you need to talk to a robber, or...
You know what? I should bring a Leatherman with me, like the guys do, like in case you need
it. Don't they have those? They have those like little like shimmy things that you can open doors. Like, a lot of burglars have them, but you could get one just because, and just keep it in your back pocket.
I think that's a great idea. Well, wait, I forgot one really funny part of the story. Okay. We actually had a window in there, of course. Oh. And I'm like, this is like February, so it's cold out.
Oh, yeah.
But I had these little shower puck things you put in the shower and it kind of evaporates, a nice smell.
Yes.
They're like a disc.
Yeah.
And I opened the window. I'm like, how far is my neighbor? Because I was yelling out the window. I'm like, hey, hello. I know my neighbor, right next to me. And I'm like, shoot, it's their garage. I could throw this shower thing across and see if I could,
you were a genius.
I was really, really trying. You were. And I thought about jumping down. It was up on second floor. I'm like, I might break my ankle. Yeah. So yeah, I would not give up, Bethany.
Breaking the door was probably safer and cheaper than breaking a leg.
Yeah.
Good choice.
So those are the
Way
three.
To go, Carol.
Those are my three stories. They're fun. I'm prone to get locked in there.
Houdini. You need to Houdini got out of everything.
Rob's going to send me to Houdini school. I like that idea. I can get out of anything. Woohoo. I love it. So let's see. The next question we have. Are you ready, Miss Bethany?
Oh, boy.
Share a story in your lifetime of something you did to take a step closer to God. You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it'll trigger something.
Yes, hopefully.
Okay. I went to a women's retreat. It was a refresher women's retreat. They always have a good speaker. And I was in this phase of life where I was really soul searching. It was a really difficult time for me. And I actually was a little depressed. I came out of that by challenging myself to try different things at this camp. I'm just going to push myself out of my comfort zone. I'm going to do some things because they have all these awesome things that you can do for fun or just to challenge you. Like they had zip lining, they had laser tag, they had horseback riding, they had the leap of faith. The leap of faith is what I did. And to let our audience know what it is a 15-foot pole. They harness you in, you're safe, and then you climb up this pole. It used to be a telephone pole, I think, but you climb up to the top, and then there is a trapeze where you jump onto the bar and take that leap of faith from the top of the pole to grabbing the bar, and then you're lowered down.
Oh, so that is not what I was thinking.
Okay. So what happened was I get there and I'm with my friends, and my one friend said, hey, whatever you do this weekend, I'm going to do. And she's not a big, doesn't do a lot of stuff. And of course, that was the weekend I decided I'm doing a lot of stuff. And so it was kind of funny. So she was with me and my other friend was with me as well. And I was I'm like, I can do this. And I'll remind you, I was really struggling, like in my frame of mind, like, I'm going to do it, but I'm really like not sure. And I was counting on the Lord, and I said a prayer, and I'm like, Lord, help me get this, help me do this. And I'm climbing about a third of the way, and here comes Satan going, what are you doing? You can't do this. I could just hear I was doubting. I was like, this is not going to happen. And I'm like, Lord, I can do it. I know I can with you. And I'm countering it. And I take some more steps. And then I'm like, still doubting. And I realize, you know what? I need my friends. I'm like, hey, you guys, I need some help. And they're like, you can do this, Carol. You got this. And I made it to the top. I was shaking. I got up on and I jumped. And I did the leap of faith. And I'm like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. So I would call that taking a step closer to God in that moment.
Did your friend do it too?
Yes, she did.
Wow.
She did.
See, I'm not that brave. I would not probably be that friend and be like, anything you do, I do this weekend. Oh, I would be like, heights aren't my thing. I just can't do heights.
Yeah, well, the worst part is like trying to get from the pole where you're climbing to the very top of that very small diameter at the top of the pole. Yeah. That was like, whoa.
Way to go, Carol.
Yeah, thank you. Job. Yeah, that's my story.
Well, the problem with this is I have a lot of different stories I could talk about, and I feel like sometimes I've already talked about some of them, so I wanted to be fresh and new. And so I was trying to think of something, and I kind of need to go back to the podcast.
Oh, yes. That's a good one.
Because I wanted to do a podcast, but I needed Carol. I needed you to be that push or that partner that comes alongside me and says, let's do it. And that you're just like, you were effortless. Yep, I'll do that with you. Let's do it. And
yeah, pause there. That was the Holy Spirit. That was not me.
But you listen to the Holy Spirit, and that's really important. And so, I mean, I have to kind of go back because I have taught a lot of women's Bible studies. I've taught preschool and Sunday school and, all of the things. I've not like preschool. I say Sunday school, preschool.
Yes.
I've never taught children or anything. Like, I'm not a teacher by profession, shall we say. Yeah. But I've done a lot of training and teaching, and I've done Bible studies. And I have found throughout that, if you're willing to teach and lead, God oftentimes will strengthen you and equip you. You might not feel like you are able to, or maybe you feel like you're not good enough.
Or you don't have all the answers.
Exactly. And what if someone asks me a question I don't know? And how will I answer? I feel like that with kids too, when they're, parents are like, I don't know how to answer some of the questions. Guess what, parents? You don't have to know all the answers. And so this is something that I really wanted to do. And you stepping out in faith and saying, yes, let's do it together. Oh, I'm not alone. And I just thank you for doing that. Thank you for listening to God.
Thank you, because I had no idea I was capable of doing anything like this. And really, I think you are such a natural at this that I think the Lord really, really wanted you to do it. And I was the helper in this case. So absolutely, girl.
Well, and I bet you feel the same way. We're going through the Beatitudes this summer.
Yes.
I have learned so much.
Me too.
And so I think that's like the step of faith. Like sometimes we might not feel like we are equipped to do it or have the knowledge or time or fill in whatever your excuse.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's make, or need. I mean, I don't want to say excuse, but I think we do make excuses. I was making my excuses. I didn't want to do it alone. And so when we step out, I think God just blesses you in that. And you also learn so much.
Yes.
If you're the teacher, oftentimes you will learn more than your students. And so if, maybe your church has small groups, be the leader. Go out there and lead, because God might have something he wants you to learn, and you won't learn it unless you are doing the training or teaching.
Yeah, we're supposed to be molded by him and be moldable, right?
Yeah,
and try something even though we might not have all the answers. I love that message.
Go out of your comfort zone, because I mean, even if maybe you're a baby Christian and you were like, I can't teach. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
All you have to do is pray and ask God and just read the scriptures. I learned so much from this podcast. My relationship with God has gotten so much deeper and closer and richer.
Yes, I agree. I learned so much, gotten so much closer to him. That is such a good way to describe getting closer to God, right? Your step closer to God. So that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. We have one more.
Okay.
What is your dream trip or destination of anywhere in the world, and why?
Oh, I have this in spades.
Oh, good.
So I have multiple. So do you want A, B, or C?
Oh, you have to choose one.
Well, my number one trip, I gotta give you a little history. My number one trip was when I was 10. I went and told my dad I wanted to go to Paris. And he said, well, why don't we start saving for that? And so he put me in a mutual fund, and I started putting my babysitting money away, and whatever other jobs I did, I pretty much babysat. And I would put money away. So if you know me, I love Paris. Like, what do I have around my neck right now, girl?
It is a silver Eiffel Tower.
It is. I have an Eiffel Tower necklace. I have had it for a long time. Some people wear crosses. I wear this. This reminds me of God's provision, or his caring, that he cares about our littlest things. So when I was 10, I wanted to go to Paris. My dad started helping me save money. I was going to be 24 on for my 24th, my golden birthday. I wanted to do something really special. I don't know why. I had to wait a long time. I think that's what it was. So I remember this one night in the fall. It was probably like September before my golden birthday. So about 6 months before my golden birthday. My room was messy. And I remember looking around, and I was like, I got to clean this. And it was probably like 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, why would I think that at that moment? God, it was a Godcidence. That was a Godcidence. Okay. So I was picking up stuff, putting it in the garbage, and I saw the community ed flyer. And I was like, going to chuck it, because I'd had it for a couple weeks, didn't look at it. And I heard an audible, like not an audible voice, but very clear direction. Don't throw that away. Look at it. So I sat down on my bed, and I started paging through it. And right towards the back was Springtime in Paris. And the dates were over my birthday, my golden birthday. Like, one of them was they left on they came home on my birthday, and the other one was they left on my birthday. There was 2 different trips. Okay. So I called my dad, and I said, Dad, I found my trip. It was through the community ed, so it was a tour. It was 10 days or something like that. And I said, I found it. I told him all about it. And I said, can I go? And because that night, I remember God, not only did he say, open that book, he said, this is your trip. Like he said that this is your trip.
It's just obvious. Yeah.
So obvious. My dad's like, well, you can't go by yourself. Well, who has money? So my aunt, his sister, and my uncle are very close. I love them. They're wonderful, wonderful people. And I call her Aunt Annette. So I called my Aunt Annette the next day, and I said, would you go to Paris with me? And she said, well, let me see. Let's take a look, you know. So my uncle's like, wait a minute, I need to make sure that this is okay trip for you to go on. I can't let you just go on some fly by night. I need to know. So I was super grateful. And the next night he called me. He says, well, I couldn't get you on the first one, but you're on the second one.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it was the best time. We had so much fun. It was a trip of a lifetime. That's the only time I've gone overseas. I've gone to Canada once, but...
So wait a minute. You're telling me you've already had your dream trip?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm like, but I love Paris. I went there. I was on the Eiffel Tower. I ate on the Eiffel Tower. Wow. I went to the Louvre. I saw the Mona Lisa. I saw, Winged Victory. I mean, all the things I saw.
Did you see Versailles?
Yes, I did.
Because I went to
Hall of Mirrors.
Yes. I love the Hall of Mirrors. There's chandeliers, people hanging if you haven't been there. And it's kind of like a fairy tale. So glittery and beautiful.
So it's really interesting. And Marie Antoinette lived there.
Oh, interesting.
We studied Marie Antoinette, not at the same time, but for a book club. She made like a village down on Versailles. So there's the grounds at Versailles it's like a mile. And she made a fake town so she could go be a townsperson and feel like the paupers or
wow,
interesting. Interesting. Very. She was kind of an interesting lady.
So do you have another dream trip?
I do.
Okay, I want to hear that.
My current dream trip, which I plan to do this year, 2025, I'm going to visit my friend Rachel and Jason, her husband, in Germany. They live there currently.
Yay.
And we were just talking about it on the way up today.
Nice.
I got to talk to her.
And when is that trip?
Well, we're still in the discussions. Okay. It's really hot in Germany and they don't have a lot of air conditioning. So she suggested I come in October, which you would think that Oktoberfest is in October, but it's not. It's actually in September. Oh. So that's the busy month. So October, November, December. I would love to go after Thanksgiving because they have the Christmas markets.
Oh.
And then we're talking about taking a train and going to Paris because she's an artist. Okay. And I would love to go to Paris.
Yes.
And she would love to come to Paris with me because there's a couple of the museums that we didn't get to see because they were under construction when I went. I'm kind of stoked about that. But I would say if I had to pick one, my dream one. See, this is a multi. There is not like a one size fits all for Bethany and travel.
Wait till you hear mine. Go ahead.
I really want to go to Italy and Greece. That's a toss up. Italy for
is your top one
Germany? I don't know. Okay. See, I have too many. And then get this, Carol. There's a lot to see in the United States of America. I have not seen Mount Rushmore. Yes. I have not been to Yellowstone.
Oh, you got to see Mount Rushmore.
Right? And I want to see the Grand Canyon. I want to see the Grand Tetons. I want to go to Boston. Oh, my word. There's no answer. There's no good answer. They're all wonderful places.
Thankfully, you can go and plan it for next year.
I'm in my, how they say like an era? I'm in my travel era right now.
Ooh, yes. I hear about that. Like some people I see, some of my friends, I see them doing all these trips. It's like, wow, is it time to travel or what? And then I kind of get the bug too. It's like, I would like to go there. Yes. But my dream.
Yes.
So it used to be just Italy. And then I realized there's a lot of places around there that I want to go to too.
Yeah.
So I've decided that my dream trip is going to be Italy and Turkey.
Ooh,
all together.
Istanbul.
And here's the thing. I wanted Italy because of the romance, the beauty, the architecture actually of, how all the cities are kind of older and so much to see in Italy.
So
and of course I want to see Rome and that's got a biblical piece to it as well. I truly want to see where Paul went. So I want to, that's why I want to go to, the Greece area and Turkey and the island of Crete and, all of these places. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I think that's mine.
Can I share another thing or do you want to move on?
Go ahead.
Well, you know how
you're on the pontoon, anything goes.
That's what I was like. I have more to say. I shocking. I know.
Shocking.
But history and especially biblical history would come to life so much more if you could actually experience or go to the places
right
that you read about in the Bible.
Yeah.
And I think about this with history. I remember in high school we went and took a trip out east, and we saw I think we saw the Liberty Bell, we saw Gettysburg, and I'm telling you, Gettysburg was so profound in my life. And you heard about, we had to memorize the Gettysburg Address in school because I was homeschooled. So yes, we memorized that, and just to be able to hear the stories, there was such a presence there that made it feel so like hallowed ground. You knew a lot of people died there.
Yes.
And I remember just feeling that and understanding it. It just brought history to life. So that's kind of why I want to go to Boston, and because that's, there's the Boston Tea Party, and there's so much history that where our country started.
Yes.
And so it's super interesting to go to those places, and again, Rome and Israel and all those places where you could walk where history has happened before.
Well, I've talked to people who have gone, and it's just very moving, and it's something that I would love to do sometime. I mean, to walk that strip too of where Jesus walked. I mean,
like
wow.
Gethsemane. Like, wouldn't you like to go to Gethsemane?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, speaking of Bible, wanted to ask today too, just kind of a Bible study check-in, what we're doing, and share with our audience what we're doing this summer, to stay in the Word. And so I can share mine. Yeah, I can share mine first. Through my church, they had several studies that we could choose from, and the one I chose was Delighting in the Trinity. It's based on a book by Michael Reeves. That is the name of the book, Delighting in the Trinity. It's a 6-week that we're doing, and it just started. But so far, I'm really enjoying how Michael Reeves is writing this, and there's been some revelation for me already, and just the connection between the three. And I think diving in is going to be helping my understanding of the relationship with all three and what God intended too. I really am enjoying it so far. So that is what I'm doing. And I'm liking that it's only a 6-week because summer goes fast, and I want to stay in the Word, yet do all the things with what summer brings with friends and events and such. So I am really liking it. How about you?
Well, our women's Bible study is doing another book by Jen Wilkins. It's In His Image, 10 Ways God Calls Us to Reflect His Character. And we meet Friday mornings at 6 a.m.
Okay.
So it's kind of a little early, but it works for my schedule, and I have really enjoyed having a designated day to spend time with other women and to learn more about God. Yes. And this, like the books, we did her other one, which I can't remember the name of it. I always forget it, but it's something about knowing Him or understanding Him. We talked about goodness this week and the goodness of God. And when we're doing the Beatitudes, when I was reading that, like they kind of like fit together, they intertwined it, and how we're learning about, in our summer study, we're learning about humility and examining our lives. And then we're learning about God's character and how can we be more like Christ. And so this has been just so good. So like the two of them are just fitting together like two puzzle pieces, and I'm just really enjoying that.
Wonder who's orchestrating that.
I wonder.
God is great.
Yes.
Well, I love this, and I thought it would be fun to do maybe a little fun summer checklist and share it with our audience and see if it might spur an idea for them to do this summer too.
Okay.
And so I thought I found this on realsimple.com.
Okay.
And so there's just a few questions. I'm going to ask you which one you would like to do most, Bethany.
Perfect.
Super easy. Okay.
Right.
This is they have it in categories of nostalgic and relax and the great outdoors and just because. So nostalgic. Okay. Would you rather see a movie at the drive-in, play miniature golf, catch fireflies at night, run through the sprinklers, tie-dye a t-shirt?
It has to be golf. And and guess what, Carol? I have a story.
Uh-oh. No. You? Go for it.
I do. So we have the Sylvanus Open. It happens most every year. Since Dad passed, I don't know if we've hit it up every year. I know we didn't do last year, but this is gonna be changed. This year we're doing this Sylvanus Open. So there's this really old miniature golf place in Minnesota. It's called Lilliput. We have gone there pretty much every single year since I was in high school for the Sylvanus Open, and whoever wins gets to take it's more of like the pride of like you get to hold the honor for you were the winner. And I've won a few years in a row. The biggest thing is when we would always have the boyfriends come, guess what? We would have them come to the Sylvanus Open.
Yes.
And they'd have to see what they were made of. It was kind of the rite of passage.
Yeah.
Some guys didn't make it. I remember a couple that I was like, I am going to beat him. And I did. I did. My sisters, if they're listening, will know exactly who I'm talking about. And I was like, he is not going to win. And I won that year. So it's fun. But yeah, so definitely miniature golfing. Although I do like the other ones.
Okay, here's another one.
Mm-hmm.
So here's...
Well, what's yours?
Oh, I think it's a toss-up. I think it's so fun to just turn into a kid again. And the one that draws my eye is catch fireflies at night. That one I'm like, I think that would be super fun. Yeah.
Well, you get really dark up here, don't you?
Dark?
Like, the ambient light is dark here because you're up north. In the cities, I can barely see stars.
Oh, sure. Yes.
The ambient light is so... It's pollution, light pollution. So you probably have a really good...
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Actually, we do. And also with the trees all around, too, that makes
helps.
it more dark as well. So
I may have to come up here, catch some fireflies.
Do a podcast around the firefly light. Okay, next one.
Mm-hmm.
What is most appealing? Nap in a hammock, watch the clouds go by, go river tubing, watch the sunset from a beach, or have a picnic in the park?
Oh my. How do you pick that?
I don't know.
Okay.
They're all the above.
If we're thinking nostalgia.
No, this is sorry.
I know it isn't.
New category.
I know.
Relaxing.
But I'm thinking nostalgic. I would say watch clouds because I remember doing that as a kid. That was like you always watch clouds as a kid, right? Yep. You would lay in the grass. And it would be hot. You would lay under a tree, a shady tree. Mm-hmm. You look at the clouds. So I would say if I was looking at nostalgia, I would do that. The other one is I love watching sunsets. They're like my favorite. And I love water. So water, sunset totally works.
Well, I have a tie.
Oh, see?
Mine is also watch the sunset from a beach.
Or
because
pontoon.
That's me and my husband's thing. It's gorgeous.
Pontoon, right?
Or in a pontoon. That would be great. Or, in the lake or the ocean, it's just beautiful. Sunsets, God's creation is beautiful.
So beautiful.
And the other one is watch the clouds go by. I used to do that as a kid as well. I did it with my son when he was growing up. And it's just fun to see what the clouds form and say, ooh, look at that. It looks like a giraffe. Or, it's just kind of fun.
I think it's cool that you and I had the same too.
I know.
We didn't even talk about this.
Well,
we do not talk about any of this, people, before.
No.
It's all just
it just happens.
It just happens. It's live.
It's live. Yes, we're live. Okay, so here's the other one. The great outdoors.
Okay.
Plant wildflower seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Go camping. Toss a frisbee. Go for a hike. Seek out birds and butterflies.
A hike.
That's mine. You did it again.
Well, I'm like butterflies and birds. They're beautiful, right? But that's not my thing. Okay. And I was thinking about what was the other one? Camping. I'm a glamper, not a camper.
I love that term.
If we glamp, fine.
Yeah.
No, none of this roughing it. I like my comfort creatures. I don't want to sleep on the hard ground. Sorry.
Did you ever go to the Boundary Waters?
No.
Okay.
But I thought about it. I thought I wanted to do it when I was younger. But now that I'm old, I'll do glamping.
So I have to say,
yes,
I have been a camper. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it very much, especially my younger years.
Have you been a happy camper?
But when we started still getting like smaller tents to crawl into, I'm like, why do they have to be so small? I mean, let's get some space here. So I think I'm turning more into a glamper than a camper. Uh-huh. I do love the nice amenities of the newer campers and things like that. We just sold our camper, and it was a glamper, and I just love it. It's just really enjoy. It's enjoyable. You can enjoy it and be more comfortable in one of those than you can in a camper or in a tent. So
I do have funny stories about camping though, but I won't tell them. That's a whole nother.
Well, that could be a whole episode on its own.
It really could be.
Okay.
From our family.
Maybe the next pontoon. Okay. So I think mine would be, go for a hike. We got that figured out because I just love not only the exercise you get, but the beauty.
Agreed.
You know, especially in Minnesota where there's so many places.
Because sometimes you can go high, like bluff country, like southern Minnesota. Yeah. Gorgeous for that.
Okay, so the last one is. Okay, we got a piece of paper. Can you hear it? Flopping in the wind. Old school. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Just because.
Okay.
Take a last-minute road trip. Read a good book. Create sidewalk chalk art. Give yourself a pedicure in the perfect summer shade. And then get caught in a summer rainstorm.
I like the last-minute road trip.
That's fun. Why do you like that choice?
Because it's spontaneous.
We are so alike.
It's like, well, especially if what if it's a rainy weekend?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, let's just go sightseeing. Like, let's take a good drive. Because even when it's raining, it's still pretty. There's plenty to see. Sometimes you can hit sunshine, if you go far enough away.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I heard a statistic? Can I just say this? This is like a weird thing. I heard a statistic this week said 5% of Americans have never left the state they lived in and grew up in and born in.
That is really interesting.
I'm thinking about 5%.
Well, some people are really homebodies and they don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, but sorry.
Yeah, but
just think though.
Yes.
That means that on that Saturday when you hadn't have anything else to do and it was raining buckets and you couldn't go to your cabin, you wouldn't say, hey, let's go to the border and see what, Iowa looks like or North Dakota. Yeah. Wouldn't that intrigue you just, I don't know, a little bit?
Well, I think also with our digital world, you can see so much.
True.
It's like, are you really wanting to go there? If you're not a doer or extrovert or, doesn't want to travel, you can see it all online.
It's true. I thought that was a very high statistic.
I'm not one of those people.
Me neither.
I like to experience it in person, but
Me
too. Like that. You want to do one more?
I do.
Okay.
I want to do eat and drink.
Okay, eat and drink. Give us one more thing to think about.
Okay.
So which would you rather do?
Okay.
Roast marshmallows over a fire and make s'mores. Make lemonade from scratch.
Okay.
Eat something fried at a carnival or fair. Grill everything, including dessert. So I'm imagining that's your entire meal. Or drink a frozen cocktail. And that could be anything from, I guess,
could be
something.
A mocktail.
Mocktail or a spiked one, whatever. Yeah. So which one of those?
I would have to say eat something fried from a fair. We have the Minnesota State Fair. So that is all the rage. Everyone should go.
Okay, we have a difference. I want to grill everything, including dessert. I think that is fun.
Have you had grilled peaches with honey?
No, but I've had grilled pineapple.
Oh, but grilled peaches?
Okay,
like
but
half a peach?
Like you have to have like a decadent, involved dessert on the grill. I think
really?
I'd make it a challenge and I'd make it like at least 3 different things.
Wow. 3?
Like maybe cherries.
Wow.
I don't know. Something to think about. Get your thinking caps on.
I've had peaches grilled with drizzle of honey, balsamic vinegar, and like a brie cheese or a cheese in the middle so it gets a little warm and gooey.
Ooh,
That's
you go.
your decadence.
Oh, I like it. Okay, I'm getting some ideas here.
Thanks for letting me do that last one.
Hey, maybe you could do a little baby bell and just throw it on there. And
that'd be good. Or mushrooms.
Okay, like a portobello now I'm getting hungry. Okay, it's time to go. Hey, hope you guys have a great summer. And I hope we gave them some ideas.
Thank you for coming on the pontoon with us today.
Woohoo! Get out and enjoy your summer, people. Should we do a pour out your joy together?
Not? Yes.
Okay, ready?
Pour out your joy.
True joy comes through Jesus, knowing Him and walking with Him. If you do not have Jesus in your life, you can ask Him into your life by praying this simple prayer. Dear Jesus, I believe in you. I believe that you came to die for my sins. I have eternal life through you and you alone. I ask you to walk with me in relationship so that I may know you more and grow in the knowledge of your word. It is in your name that I pray. Amen.